Started Chaffinches and Sparrows. Let's going to continue with our story. We were reading the BFG, the big friendly giant, and then we saw how he's friendly, but the other ones aren't really because they eat human beings. So we saw the last time on Friday, we saw how Sophie found out that the other giants were going to go that night to England to eat children. So, or how they say, chitlers. So we will see our new chapter is called The Great Plans, and I think that Sophie was a little bit upset and she wanted to stop it. So let's see what's happened. We've absolutely got to stop them, Sophie cried. Put me back in your pocket quick and we'll chase after them and warn everyone in England they're coming. Redonkulos and impossible, the BFG said. This is going 2 times as fast as me, and they is finishing their castle before we is halfway. But we can't just sit here doing nothing. How many girls and boys are they going to eat tonight? Many, the BFG said. The flesh lamp-eater giant alone has a most squawkling whoopsie appetite. Will he snatch them out of their beds while they're sleeping? Like peas out of a puddle, the BFG said. I can't bear to think of it. Then don't, the BFG said. 4 years and years I is sitting here on this very rock every night after night when he's galloping away. And I is feeling so sad for all them human beings they is going to wobble up. But I has had to get used to it. There is nothing I can do. If I wasn't a teachy little ranty giant only 24 feet high, then I would stop them. But that is absolutely out of the window. Do you always know where they're going? Sophie asked. Always. Every night they is yelling at me as they go bottling past. The other day they was yelling, we is off to Mississippi and Missouri to castle them both. Disgusting. I hate them. She and the big friendly giant sat quietly side by side on the blue rock in the gathering dusk. Sophie has never felt so helpless in her life. After a while, she stood up and cried out, I can't stand it! Just think of those poor girls and boys who are going to be eaten alive in few hours' time. We can't just sit here and do nothing. We've got to go after those brutes. No, the BFG said. We must! Why won't you go? The BFG sighed and shook his head firmly. I has told you 5 or 6 times, he said, and the third will be the last. I is never showing myself to human beings. Why ever not? If I do, they will be putting me in a zoo with all the giraffes and caterpillars. Nonsense! And they will be sending you straight back to an orphanage, the BFG went on. Grown-up human beings is not famous for their kindnesses. They is all squiffly rotters and grinky sludgers. That simply isn't true, Sophie cried angrily. Some of them are very kind indeed. Who? The BFG said. Name one. The Queen of England? Sophie said. You can't call her a squiff rotter or grink sludger. Well, you can't call her a squib pipe or a nut matcher either, Sophie said, getting angrier and angrier. The fresh lamp eater is longing dearly to guzzle her up, the BFG said, smiling a little now. Who? The Queen? Sophie cried aghast. Yes, the BFG answered. Flesh lamp eater says he is never eaten a queen, and he thinks, perhaps, she has an especially scrumping delicious flavour. How dare he? Sophie cried. But Flesh Lamp Eater says there is too many soldiers around her palace, and he doesn't try it. He'd better not, Sophie said. He's also saying he would like very much to guzzle one of the soldiers in his pretty red suit, but he is worried about those big black furry hats they is wearing. He thinks they might be sticking in his throat. I hope he chokes, Sophie said. Fleshland Peter is very careful giant. Sophie was silent for a few moments. Then suddenly, in a voice filled with excitement, she cried out, I've got it! By golly, I think I've got it! Got what? Asked the BFG. The answer! We'll go to the Queen. It's a terrific idea. If I went and I told the Queen about those disgusting men eating giants, I'm sure she will do something about it. And they are having a chat. The BFG looked down at her sadly and shook his head. She is never believing you, he said. Never in a month of Mondays. I think she would. Never, the BFG said. It is sounding such a wonky tall story. The Queen will be laughing and saying, what awful rapsquash. She will not. Of course she will. I have told you before that human beings is simply not believing in giants. Then it's up to us to find out a way of making her believe in them. And how is you getting in to see the Queen anyway? Now, hold a sec. Just hold on a sec, because I've got another idea. Your ideas is full of crotchwoggle. Did not this one? You say that if we tell the Queen, she will never believe us? Certainly she wouldn't. But we aren't going to tell her, Sophie said excitedly. We don't have to tell her. We'll make her dream it. That is an even more throat-bangling suggestion, the BFG said. Dreams is lots of fun, but nobody's believing in dreams either. You is only believing in a dream while you is actually dreaming it. But as soon as you is waking up, you say, oh, thank goodness it was only a dream. Don't you worry about part of it. I can fix that. Never you can't fix it. I can, I swear I can. But first of all, let me ask you a very important question. Here it is. Can you make a person dream absolutely anything in the world? Anything you like, the BFG said proudly. If I said I want to dream that I was in a flying bathtub with silver wings, could you make that dream? I could. But how? You obviously don't have exactly that dream in your collection. I do not, but I could soon be mixing it up. How could you mix it up? It is a little bit like mixing a cake. If you is putting the right amounts of all the different things into it, you is making the cake come out any way you want. Sugary, spongy, quaranty, Christmassy and grub-switchy. It is the same with dreams. Go on. I has billions of dreams on my shelves, right or left? Right? I has dreams about bathtubs, loads of them. I has dreams about silver wings. I has dreams about flying. So all I has to do is mix those dreams together in the proper way, and I is very quickly making a dream where you is flying in a bathtub with silver wings. I see what you mean, but I didn't know you could mix one dream with another, Sophie said. Dreams like being mixed, the BFG answered. They is getting very lonesome all by themselves in those glassy bottles. Right. Now then, do you have dreams about the Queen of England? Lots of them. And about giants? Of course. And about giants eating people? Swiglings of them. And about little girls like me? Those is commonest of all. I has bottles and bottles of dreams about little girls. And you could mix them all up just as you want to, Sophie asked, getting more and more excited. Of course, the BFG said, but how is helping us? I think you is barking up the wrong dog. Now hold on, Sophie said. Listen carefully. I want you to mix a dream which you will blow into the Queen of England's bedroom when she's asleep, and this is how it will go. Now hang on a minute. How is I possibly going to get near enough to the Queen of England's bedroom to blow in my dream? You is talking damn silly. I'll tell you that later. For the moment, please listen carefully. Here is the dream I want you to mix. Are you paying attention? Very close. I want the Queen to dream that 9 disgusting giants, each one about 50 feet tall, are galloping to England in the night. She must dream their names as well. What are their names again? Flesh Lamp Eater, Man-Hugger, Bone Cruncher, Child Chewer, Meat Tripper, Gizzard Gulper, Maid Masher, Blood Butler, and the Butcher Boy. Let her dream all those things. And let her dream that they will be creeping into England in the depths of the witching hour and snatching little boys and little girls from their beds. Let her dream that they will be reaching into the bedrooms windows and pulling the little boys and girls out of their beds, and then, Sophie paused. Do they eat them on the spot or do they carry them away first? They is usually popping them straight into their mouths like popcorn. Put that in the dream. And then the dream must say that when their tummies are full, they will go galloping back to Giant Country where no one can find them. Is that all? Certainly not. You must then explain to the Queen in her dream that there is a big friendly giant who can tell her where all these beasts are living so that she can send her soldiers and her armies to capture them once and for all. And now let her dream one last and very important thing. Let her dream that there is a little girl called Sophie sitting on her windowsill who will tell her where the big friendly giant is hiding. Where is he hiding? Asked the BFG. Well, come to that later. So the Queen dreams her dream, right? Right. Then she wakes up and first thing she thinks is, oh, what a horrid dream. I'm so glad it was only a dream. And then she looks up for her pillow and what does she see? What does she see? She sees the little girl called Sophie sitting on her windowsill, right there, in real life, before her very eyes. How is you going to be sitting on the Queen's windowsill? May I beg? You're going to put me there. And that's the lovely part about it. If someone dreams is a little girl sitting on her windowsill, and then she wakes up and she sees the little girl really sitting there, that is a dream come true, is it not? I is beginning to see where you're driving to. If the Queen is knowing that part of her dream is true, then perhaps she is believing the rest of it is true as well. That's about it. But I shall have to convince her of that myself. You said you is wanting the dream to say there is a big friendly giant who is also going to talk to the Queen? Absolutely, you must. You are the only one who can tell her where to find the other giants. How is I meeting the Queen? I is not wanting to be shot at by the soldiers. The soldiers are only in front of the palace. At the back, there is a huge garden, and there are no soldiers in there at all. There is a very high wall with spikes on it around the garden to stop people climbing it, but you could simply walk over that. How is you knowing all this about the Queen's Palace? Last year I was in a different orphanage. It was in London and we used to go for walks around there. Is you helping me to find this palace? I has never dared to go hide and sneaking around London in my life. I will show you the way. I is frightened of London. Don't be. It is full of tiny dark streets and there are very few people about in the witching hour. The BFG picked Sophie up between one finger and the thumb and placed her gently on the palm of the other hand. Is the Queen Palace very high? Very big? It's huge. Then, how is we finding the right bedroom? That is up to you. You are supposed to be an expert at that sort of thing. And you is absolutely sure the Queen will not put me in a zoo with all the caterpillars? Of course you won't. You will be a hero, and you will never have to eat snooze again. Sophie saw the BFG's eyes widen. He licked his lips. You mean it? You really mean it? No more disgusting snooze. You couldn't get one if you want to. Humans don't grow them. That did it. The BFG got to his feet. When is you wanting me to mix this special dream? Now, at once. When is we going to see the Queen? Tonight, as soon as you've mixed the dream. Tonight? Why such a flashbanging fairy? If we can't save tonight's children, we can anyway save tomorrow's. What is more, I'm getting famished. I haven't had anything to eat for 24 hours. Then we had better get crackling, the BFG said, moving back towards the cave. Sophie kissed him on the tip of his tongue. I knew you will do it. Come on, let's hurry. Oh, sweetie. Right, tomorrow we will be reading Mixing the Dreams. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Adios.